Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on setting up and using your VR headset with Yulio. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Nicole. I'm one of the client success specialists here at Yulio, and I'll be hosting today's session. So, our main objective for today's webinar is to get you prepared for using your virtual reality headset with Yulio and to go over some best practices for viewing and presenting in VR. If you have any questions that pop up as I am hosting the session today, please feel free to enter them in the question box and I will answer them during the Q&A period at the end. My contact details are also on the screen now, so if you'd like to follow up on today's webinar with any questions or even an additional training session, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to set that up with you. Finally, if you do have to leave today's session early, I am recording the full webinar and I'll send that to all registrants so you'll be able to watch it later and you can share it with your team as well. So here's our agenda for today's session. First, I'll talk a little bit about why you might want to use a VR headset in addition to our browser mode experience. Next, I'll go over which headsets are compatible with Yulio. Then we'll get into adding projects to your headset gallery and connecting your headset. After that, I'll show you how you can view and present in VR and how you can send your projects to your clients' headsets. And finally, we'll wrap up with uh, a Q&A period. So you might be thinking, why should I use a VR headset? Can't I just show my clients the web browser experience? And technically, yes, you can, and it will offer a great 360-degree view of the space. However, presenting your design to your client in a VR headset offers a unique experience that's interactive and immersive. It also provides a stronger sense of space and scale. So, this immersive experience can help clients better understand design concepts, which in turn can reduce costly misunderstandings and improve client satisfaction. Within your own teams, VR presentations can encourage collaboration and creative problem solving by allowing teams to explore design variations together in real time. So, for compatible headsets, Yulio is compatible with the MetaQuest series of headsets, which includes the latest MetaQuest 3S. So recently, Meta has phased out the sale of some of their previous headset versions. So right now, they're only producing the 3S and 3 headsets. However, if you have a previous version already, you can still use it with Yulio. If you're looking to purchase a headset, both the Quest 3S and 3 headsets are great options, and they both offer a color camera for those augmented reality applications, which I'll touch on more a little bit later. If you haven't purchased a headset and you want to learn more about the available options, you can compare the Quest 3 and Quest 3S headsets on Meta's website. Okay, now for the Yulio Viewer app. So, the first thing you're going to want to do once you have your headset is download the Yulio Viewer app. You will need to download the app in order to connect your headset to your Yulio account and, of course, to later view your VR projects from your headset. So, you're going to start by putting on your headset. Before downloading the app, make sure your headset is connected to Wi Fi by opening the settings menu on your device. If you haven't connected to Wi Fi, now is the time to, or would be the time to do that. I'm just going to open up this video here to show you some next steps. So, next, you would open the Meta Horizon store from your app library and search for the Yulio Viewer app in the search bar. From here, you'll be able to download the Yulio Viewer app for free. So once you've downloaded the app, the next time you open your app library on your MetaQuest, you'll see that the Yulio Viewer app is there. Okay, so now I'm going to get into adding projects to your headset gallery and connecting the headset to your account. So with your headset off now, you'd go to the Yulio website and log into your account. For those of you that are new to Yulio, when you log into your account anytime, you'll always land here on the projects page. To connect your headset and add projects to your headset gallery, you're going to look at the top menu here and click on the Headsets tab. So on this page, you'll see two secondary tabs. We have My Headsets on the left and Headset Projects on the right. So under the My Headsets tab is where you'll be able to see any of your connected headsets. And under the Headsets Projects tab is where you'll see the gallery of projects that are connected to those headsets. So right now we don't have any headsets or projects connected, so that's why you can't see them here right now. So, before you connect your first headset, I recommend adding a couple of projects to your headset gallery so that you have some projects ready for you when you put your headset back on and return to the Yulio Viewer app. So, under the Headset Projects tab, you're going to select Add Projects. And from here, you can select projects from your project folders. And you do just have to add them one by one here. So, I'm going to add just a couple. Okay, so you can add and store up to 20 projects in your gallery at any time, and they are pre downloaded to your device through the Yulio app. So once they're downloaded here, you do not need the internet to view your projects while using your headset. You can add and delete projects from your gallery at any time. If you want to delete a project, you can do that just by clicking on this red delete button. Another important thing to note here is that all projects featured here in your gallery will connect to all headsets you've paired under the My Headsets tab. So, this is something to keep in mind if you have multiple headsets connected to your account. Okay, now let's continue with how to connect the headset to your account. So, to connect your headset, you're going to click on this Connect a Headset button. From here, you're going to be prompted to put your headset back on and open the Yulio app. Um, Let me go and here to show you this video. So once you put your headset on, probably be met with some in-app onboarding at first. That's just to help you get started. And then once you've gone through the onboarding, you're gonna want to look down in your headset and find a connect icon. So this is what this person's doing here. And they're just holding their gaze over that icon. So once you hold your gaze over that icon and activate it, your three-digit pairing code will appear. So once you have the code, you can take your headset off and return to your Yulio account. And you can enter that code here. Okay, so once you do that, your headset will connect and you will see it appear in here. At the same time, any of those projects that you've added to your gallery under the Headset Projects tab will be synced to your headset through the Yulio app. All right, so before we get into viewing and presenting in VR, I'm just going to go over a couple customizations that you can make to your VR experience. So the first is your company lobby. So this is just the background environment that your projects are displayed in when you open the Yulio app. And if you're an admin on your Yulio account, you can customize this lobby to reflect any scene from any of your projects. So to do this from your Yulio account, you're just going to click on your email in the top right corner. And then from the drop down, you're going to select company settings. And then you're just going to click on this custom branding tab. When you scroll down here, you'll see a preview of the default company lobby, which is just a generic building environment. If you want to change this, you can click on this Change Lobby button and choose a project from your account. Anytime you do this, the first scene in that project will be chosen as the lobby background. So if you want to choose a different scene in a project as your lobby, you can create a new project that contains only that scene. Once you update your lobby, you'll see a preview of the new lobby in this thumbnail window here. And then another thing you can do from this page is upload your company logo. So by uploading a logo, your branding will appear each time you open any of the projects on your account. So this is a simple way to add some personalization to your VR projects. Okay, so now that you have connected your headset and you've uploaded your projects, you are all set to start viewing your projects in VR. So at this point, you would put your headset back on and open the Yulio Viewer app. So again, I'm just going to play this video and this person will kind of walk us through it. So after putting your headset on and opening the Yulio Viewer app, you should see something like this. So we're currently in this person's company lobby. You'll see shortly that they're going to go ahead and set their hand controllers down. And so they're setting them down now. When they do this, you'll notice a message on screen that says gaze control active. So gaze control is just another feature we have that helps make the viewing experience as simple as possible. So instead of using your controllers to select projects and click on hotspots, you can just use your gaze. So I'm going to pause it here for a second. So as this person looks around, you'll notice this small circle right in the center of the screen. This is their gaze indicator. And so that's what they will use to focus on a hotspot or a project to activate and click instead of using their hand controllers. So this person is going to go ahead and open a project just by gazing at the view button and holding that gaze indicator over the button for a couple of seconds. If you prefer, you can always pick up your hand controllers at any time and use them instead to point and click. It's really just personal preference. So now this person is in the immersive VR experience. So if this is your first time in a headset, you can start off by just taking a moment to look around and getting comfortable in the VR experience. Oops, let me just go back for a second. Something that is important to note here is that you're not really going to be physically walking around much while viewing in VR with Yulio. So each time you open the Yulio Viewer app, you'll be prompted to confirm a small virtual boundary that is set up around you. If you step outside of this boundary while viewing in VR, the VR experience will vanish. So this boundary just helps keep you from bumping into anything in your physical space when you're viewing in VR. Once you feel comfortable in the headset, um, you can start exploring the experience by using your gaze indicator to activate hotspots and navigating to new scenes. So you'll navigate to new scenes not necessarily by walking, but just by using that point-to-point navigation. If you're familiar with viewing in browser mode already, viewing in VR is very similar. So there's a few different ways that you can navigate scene to scene. The first is using navigation hotspots, which look like this. The Grand Community Lounge, that's one navigation hotspot in this project. And navigation hotspots, like I said, are Yulio's form of point-to-point navigation, and they help give that sense of walking through the experience. So to activate a hotspot, you'll just place your gaze on that hotspot and hold it for a couple of seconds. So the next way you can navigate is with the floor plan, if there's one included in the project. So to find the project floor plan while viewing in VR, you just look down slightly, as this person's doing here, and you'll notice that there's a menu with the floor plan button included. It looks like a map. And you can also see the navigation arrows there as well. Oops, let me go back. So there's those navigation arrows that you can use to move scene to scene. And then to open up the floor plan, you just hold your gaze over that floor plan icon. So this user is going to gaze at that floor plan button to open it up. And just like when you're viewing in browser mode, you can identify where you are standing in the project by that blue colored location marker if they've been included in the project. The red markers are where you can navigate to just by holding your gaze over them. So this person's going to do that. And now you'll see that we're back in that lobby area. And as you can see, there's various other enhancement hotspots around the scene, which again, you can activate just by holding your gaze over them. Or if you're using your controllers, you can just click on them. As a reminder, Yulio's hotspot options include text, image, video, audio, and AR. And you'll see this user is just going to go through and activate some of those hotspots in this project to give you an idea of what they look like in VR. And then if you look down again and you open up that menu, there is a button there to exit the project. So it's just that X button. And that's how you can return to your lobby and exit out of the Yulio app or uh, open a new VR project. So the next VR project this person is going to view includes an AR or augmented reality hotspot. So if you don't know, AR hotspots allow you to view project elements in full 360, and you can place them as a digital overlay in your own physical space to understand how they fit into your space. So this is a great feature to use, for example, if you want to see how a piece of furniture might fit into an office. So I'm just going to let this person exit out of the project and they're going to open up a different one here. So for this project, you would want to pick up your hand controllers again because you do need them to interact with AR hotspots. So this user is going to activate this AR hotspot here. And when you begin viewing the AR element from your headset, you'll notice some text around your hand controllers if you look down at them. So this text indicates, you can't see it great here, but this text indicates what the specific buttons on your controllers do. So you can move, rotate, and lift the object. You can also use the toggle environment button to change the background environment in which the object is displayed in. So right now they're viewing the object against a virtual background, but if you're using a VR headset that has a camera for mixed reality or AR, you'll be able to change the environment to see the object as an overlay in the physical space around you. So I'm going to open up a different video just to show you what that experience looks like because that is truly AR. Um, so this is an example of how you can use AR to help your clients understand how elements like furniture might fit into their space. So if your VR headset has that camera, this is kind of what you can do with that AR model. All right, now I'm just going to return to my Yulio account. So, if you want to view your projects in VR with team members or present them to clients, we recommend Yulio's Collaborate feature. So, to open Collaborate, you can just click on this Collaborate icon at the top. So, Collaborate is like an elevated presentation mode. So, when you host a session, you can have everyone meet in the same virtual space. You can guide viewers around the space, see what others are seeing, and even collect feedback. So, we see Collaborate used for in person and remote meetings, and even at events. So, with Collaborate, any guests that you're meeting with in person or remotely can all join in on their own headset or in browser mode if they don't have a headset. Before you launch your session, if your guests will be wearing headsets, you'll just want to make sure that you have connected those headsets to your Yulio account, either from the My Headsets page, which I showed you earlier, or through a client gallery. I will go over client galleries a little bit later. One thing to note here is that you can't launch a Collaborate session from a VR headset as the host. So the host will always launch and present a Collaborate session from their browser, but guests can join from their headset or a browser. When you launch a Collaborate session, the first project in your headset gallery will auto load by default. If you prefer to turn this feature off and select your project manually each time, you can do so just by going to the Settings tab here and toggling this button off, which is Auto Load First Headset Project. Just note that any settings here that you do update will be reflected for all future Collaborate sessions, not just the one that you're in now. So there's a few different ways that your guests can join a Collaborate session, depending on the device they're joining with. So if your guests are in a headset that has been connected to your Yulio account or a client gallery, the project will auto load in the Yulio Viewer app once the Collaborate session launches. So all they have to do is put on their headset, open the Yulio Viewer app, and they will automatically join the session. If you have participants that are joining in browser mode from their mobile device, if they can see the screen we're looking at now, they can easily scan this QR code with their phone's camera and join that way. And for those joining on a desktop, you can share this direct link with them. So the link here, you can copy that and share it with them in an email. Or they can join themselves just by going to live.yulio.com and then entering this unique group code. So, to give you an idea of how a Collaborate session might look from your guest perspective, I'm going to give you the chance to join this mock session. So, if you want to join, you can go ahead and join from your phone just by scanning this QR code with your phone's camera app. I recommend you joining from your phone just so that you can see what the guest perspective will be from the phone, and then you can see what the host session the host perspective will be by looking at my screen. All right, so as I continue the session, you can look at my screen, like I said, to see what your perspective will be as you host sessions moving forward. What you see on your mobile device is what your guests will see as the participants. Keep in mind, though, that if they were viewing from within a VR headset, the experience would be much more immersive. So, looking at my screen, as the host, there's two ways that you can present your Collaborate session. So, I'm just going to actually move here to participants. So, here we can see everyone who's joined us. And then here are the two modes. So, again, there's two ways you can present your Collaborate session. We have present mode and explore mode. So by default, your Collaborate sessions will open in present mode. And we recommend starting off in this mode because it gives you, as the host, the control to guide your viewers through the experience and direct your viewers' attention to a certain area in the scene. So in this mode, only the guests can activate hotspots and move to new scenes. Each time the host activates a hotspot or enters a new scene, those actions will be reflected for the guests. That being said, your guest screens are not going to mirror your screen. So even though you're in the same scene, they might be looking in a different direction than you. So If you notice, if you join the session, as I look around the scene here, your screen won't mirror, or your view won't mirror mine. So you can always direct your guest's attention to a certain area just by using this spotlight button, which is up here in the corner and it looks like a flashlight. So let's say you want to direct their attention to this table here. You'll move your gaze over there and then select that uh, spotlight button. All right. Let's explore a couple more hotspots that are in the scene. So I can open up this hotspot here, which is a text hotspot. And when I do that, you should see it on your screen as well. And then I can move to a new scene just by clicking on the navigation. And we should all now be in that new scene. Now, the next thing I want to show you is this AR hotspot. So we saw what this experience can look like when in a VR headset, but now I'll show you kind of what that browser experience looks like when viewing an AR hotspot on a computer or a phone. So by clicking on the hotspot here, you should see that pop up on your phone as well. I can use my mouse to kind of turn and rotate that object in full 360. If your guest doesn't have a headset, they can still get a similar AR viewing experience as they would in a headset just by using their smartphone. So if you've joined on your smartphone, what you can do is open that or select that AR button at the bottom of your screen. And this will open the object as a digital overlay, and you can see that in the context of your own physical space. Okay, so I'm just going to exit out of this now. So the last thing I want to mention about Collaborate's present mode is that you can give presenter privileges to a guest at any time. So to do this, you can just click on their name in the participants tab, and they can take control of the presentation um, by activating hotspots, moving to new scenes, and directing your attention to areas of interest. In addition to present mode, we also have explore mode. So in this mode, all guests can explore the project freely, including activating hotspots and navigating to new scenes. So during this time, explore mode will gaze through each guest's view every 10 to 15 seconds. So you can see what all your guests are looking at and where they are exploring. If you're in explore mode and you want to take back control, you can just click on present again and you will return as the host. The final thing I want to point out in Collaborate is a brand new feature that we launched called Live Meeting. So you will see this feature is live in your accounts, and that's this Start Chat button here at the top of the screen. It is live, we just haven't announced it yet, so you are getting a first glimpse. So, Live Meeting is an integrated tool that allows you to speak to and hear from your guests right within the Collaborate session, meaning you no longer have to use an external communication or meeting tool to chat with your guest in Collaborate. What's great about this tool is that it works whether your guests are joining from a smartphone, desktop, tablet, or VR headset. So, to turn it on, you'll just click on this Start Chat button. We're all muted right now. I'm going to leave myself muted just because I don't want the audio from the webinar to conflict with the audio and Collaborate. So I'm going to leave it muted for now. Once you turn it on, though, your guests will be prompted to enable their microphones as well, and you can begin your live meeting. So it's a really great tool that we're super excited to share with you all, and it will hopefully make your Collaborate sessions even more effective. So, like I said, you can start using it today. You will see it in your accounts, but stay tuned for our official announcement and more information, which will be coming very soon. All right, so I'm going to end that chat, and I'm also going to exit out of the Collaborate session for now and return to my account. All right, the final Yulio feature I want to talk about today is client galleries. So, client galleries allows you to share a collection of up to 20 projects directly with your client, or you can create a curated gallery of projects for an upcoming event or trade show. S- it's also a great tool if you have more than one headset and you want to showcase a gallery of projects on that additional headset that is different from the projects in your headset gallery. Because if you remember earlier, I mentioned that any headsets connected under your headsets tab here will automatically be loaded with the projects here in your headset gallery. So if you want to load a headset with projects that are different from those in your headset gallery, Client Galleries is a great tool to use. So to create a client gallery, you're going to click on the Resources tab and select Client Galleries from the dropdown. From here, if you have a gallery created already, you can just click Create Gallery, and you'll notice there's two gallery options. So we have individual and event, and you can create an unlimited number of either gallery. When you do this, you also don't have to purchase another Yulio license. So you can share this gallery with a client that doesn't have a license, and they are free to explore the projects you've uploaded there. So, individual gallery allows you to share a portfolio of projects directly with your client. It provides them with a place to log in, view their gallery, and connect a headset. You can connect the headset for them, or they can connect it themselves on their end. So, this is a great way to share a collection of projects with a client and without having to maybe send multiple project links. You can also update the projects in the gallery at any time. So, if it's going through multiple design revisions, you can make those revisions and update the projects for them there automatically. An event gallery, the second one here, allows you to create a gallery of projects for something like an event or even a meeting. So you can set up and manage a collection of projects that are specific to your upcoming event. If you wanted to create an individual gallery for a client, you can just click on Create Individual Gallery. You'll just enter their name and their email. You'll then add the projects to the gallery, and if you want to connect a headset for them, you can do that here, or they can do it later. All right, now I'm just going to return to our slides. So I'm going to wrap up today's webinar just with some tips for presenting in VR. And this goes for whether you're attending an event or just presenting at an in-person meeting. So of course, you want to first make sure that any headsets you're bringing are connected to your Yulio account. You also want to ensure that the correct projects are pre-downloaded to your headset so that you don't have to worry about connecting to Wi-Fi and downloading them on the day of. If you're going to use an event gallery that you've set up, make sure again that the correct headsets are connected to that gallery and that all the projects you want to showcase have been downloaded to that gallery. Next, a fully charged headset should last you a few hours, but depending on how much you will be using the headset, you may want to bring an extra set of batteries for your hand controllers and the appropriate charging cords for your headset. That leads me to my final tip, which is if you are going to be attending a day long event where the headset will be getting a lot of use, you may want to consider purchasing an extended battery pack just to keep your headset charged throughout the day. And that's something that you can purchase for an additional cost through the Meta website. All right, so that wraps up today's webinar. I hope that you were able to learn some helpful tips for setting up your headset and viewing and presenting in VR. Thank you all for joining me today. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and submit them now in the question box, and I will stick around for the next couple of minutes to answer those. As a reminder, if you want to book an additional training session with me on anything we did or didn't cover today, my email is up on the screen, so please feel free to reach out and I'll gladly work with you to set up a time for us to meet. Of course, you can also email me at any time if you have any questions that come up later. So, thank you again for joining me. I'll stick around for a couple of minutes to see if we have any questions. But other than that, have a great rest of your day.